What's up? What's up? What's up, my fellow creators? Welcome, guys. I hope you're having a phenomenally blessed day. Thank you for joining me, and please like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel down below, set that notification bell so you always know when the next video does go live. And welcome to another Topics with Becky, yours truly, and let's go down the rabbit hole today, and we're going to discuss polyamorous relationships. Interesting, right? This is honestly just my view on it, and I have no judgment towards others. Whatever it is that you choose to do in your life, that is great. I just want to look at the deeper part of why this has actually even come to exist, right? Because in the beginning, there was just one person with another person, and it does not matter if it's man and woman, man and man, wife and wife. I don't care, okay? I don't care. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. What matters is that we live in a society that they're finding it difficult to stay true to one person because of the inner conflict that people are having. Okay, and I believe that polyamorous became a thing because it was easier for people to say, let me go and be with somebody and have a tie to somebody, but still enjoy things on the side. Right? Finding people who are more adventurous than the person they were with, or finding people who maybe were better than the person that they were with, or finding someone so that they don't have to really feel like they truly need to commit. Again, this is just my view, my outtake on it, and I'm asking that you come at this with an open mind and an open heart to see really the only reason we have accepted this. It's like the side chick and the side dude things, right? It's like people have accepted this as just a part of life. Well, take 100 years ago, and I know that we're in the modern age, but take 100 years ago, yes, that was still always a thing, but why? But why? And why is it now more openly talked about? And why is it now more openly accepted? Is it because we have surrendered to trying to change it, or is it because nobody wants to dig in deeper? And I honestly think it's a second. I think that people have given up trying to change it because they don't know what it comes from, and they just think it's like people are going to be who they are. And I will never, ever argue that. People will be who they are, but the more that we say there's no opportunity for change, the less we take time to truly see it from a higher perspective, right? And if that's what really makes a person happy is having multiple partners, then at least they're being honest about it, being honest in a situation about it, okay? And so I respect that. I do. I respect that very much. However, the way that I see it is that being polyamorous has given an opportunity for those who truly don't want to commit a reason not to. And so that comes down to a much, much deeper issue. And we think about it, it's a very physical relationship, right? So you might have your wife or your husband, and then you also have your side chick or dude, whatever it is, right? Or whatever they are. And what ends up happening is that it creates a scenario where maybe you've worked it out, maybe you're okay with it, but at the end, as you're doing this, you're still harming the inner parts of your soul, saying that you're not worthy of having everything that you desire with an individual. It has to be multiple individuals to fulfill this crazy checklist that you might have, or this crazy idea of perfection that you might have for another person. So rather than put somebody into this box and make them come up to your standards, you lower your standards and you widen the spectrum. So what ends up happening is you're not looking at the one thing that matters in this, and that's self, right? If we are trying to hold others up to a standard of perfection, what ends up being the truth is that we're holding ourselves up to an unobtainable standard. Of course you want to be perfect. Of course you want to have good things. Of course you want to be held in high regard to others. That is part of the 3D realm, right? And that is part of why ego even exists. If we didn't have ego, we wouldn't exist. We would be completely spirit, and that's fine. But that's what happens when we leave and we go to the ether. We become spirit again. part of being human is so that we can experience the wide array of everything that the world has to offer, everything that breath and life and prana has to offer. So I bring up this situation because love is so highly regarded, but we don't look at the other aspects of it. And as I was walking this morning, this came flying into my head, and this realization of a lack of commitment. And I'm not saying that you're not committed to whomever is your solid, right, in your relationship. I'm not saying that at all. You're probably very committed, but then there's also those moments when you're bored, right? Or you want to experience something else, and so you go and you experience that, and it has been said that that's okay. So it makes me wonder, along the line, how many polyamorous relationships has lasted for an extended amount of time? There are many, many people who live in this, rather than just being single and sampling the board, right? Or just having a friend, an occasional friends with benefits that you have who's similar, right? No attachments, NSA, no strings attached, right? Rather, they want to have someone that's attached while still having their cake and eating it too. You know, it's this interesting thing. And what I want to discuss, now that I have brought this up, is the deeper aspect of that. And like I said, it's coming back to self. Well, this pertains to the root chakra and not feeling like they have a right to belong. Rather than feeling like I belong and I'm okay with myself and I'm okay being within myself, what ends up happening is to fulfill the need of the root chakra being inactive, okay? Because it's not really ever closed and it's not really ever fully open. It's more like spinning slowly or spinning fast. Like it's interesting. And so it's always moving, but there are blocks that are happening, right? And so what ends up happening is that you get stuck in this energy of like, I have to activate that root chakra in order for me to feel like I have a place in this world. Okay? Again, I'm not judging. If this is what's right for you, it's what's right for you. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just asking if you can look at it with a wider spectrum than just being here, having multiple partners. Can you look at it from a more spiritual aspect, right? What happens when we're children, if we're not given that space and truly catered to in that need and that energy that as a child you truly need, right? As a child, we're completely dependent on whomever is our guardian, whomever that is, whether they're a good guardian or a not so good guardian or an attentive guardian or an ignoring guardian. You don't have a choice, right? Like you had a choice when you were in spirit form, but there's purpose for that, and that comes from further in on the journey. But when we're children, we don't have the right and we don't have the decision to say, hey, you didn't love me the way I needed to be loved. You know, when you're 1, 2, and 3 years old, all the way up until you're 7, which is really the amount of time it takes for your root chakra to take place, that right to belong, right? That right to have your feet here on this world, to be grounded. If you're coming from a family who never even knew what that meant, likelihood is that your root chakra never actually developed the way that it was supposed to, okay? And so in order to fulfill that need, to activate it, we have sex, right? We have sex, we lay down with somebody because that makes us feel an instant gratification. It's like fast food, right? You're like excited when you're waiting in line. You're like, yay, I'm going to get my hamburger, my tacos or whatever. And you're like, all right. And then as soon as you eat it, there's a moment of guilt. Like, oh, I shouldn't have eaten that tonight. And then you come up with all these excuses. But I didn't have time to cook dinner. And I don't have anything at home, right? Do you see what I'm saying? And it's the same thing with sex. It really is. We have that need to feel needed and wanted, because that's what makes us feel like we belong. So instead of finding that in a relationship that also offers more parties and counterparts to come in, Can you find that within yourself? And the reason I bring this up again, as people, you will always do what you choose to do. That's what free will is, right? Guidance, though, comes, and it always is supposed to make you question. Like, guidance makes us question what's next, what's going on. Are we seeking the truth, or are we living based on ego, right? That's what guidance is meant to do. So as this came to me, it made me wonder, as an individual, could you really stop and find time to bring that back into yourself and say, I do belong? Like right now, just say that. I belong. I belong. I remember the first time I said this, I cried my eyes out. I was on the yoga mat. I was sobbing my eyes out because I realized I never felt like I belonged. And I realized that's why I lived a promiscuous life, right? Part of it, yes, was being raped. But again, that was activation of a chakra. I see that now. I see that I had to go through that in order to activate chakras that were not very active. And it was like, it's a wake-up call, right? It's like this huge rush of trauma that comes in so that we deal with it at that time. So, and this goes for anybody that's promiscuous. This goes for anybody that sleeps around a lot, you know. You have to take care. You have to take care of your most precious energy center. And that is your sexual space. Because that is the space through which we can create and manifest at a rapid rate. However, when it's blocked because we've been with so many people, or we continue to choose to be with so many people, we're not manifesting exactly the way that we choose to. And I agree that there are probably a lot of people out there who would disagree with me, and that's fine. That's fine. I'm coming from my own standpoint, my own experience with this, going from being promiscuous to being celibate. It has changed the way that I see things. It has changed the way that I approach sex. It has changed the way that I approach anybody that could be a potential partner. Rather than waiting for that moment, it's almost like waiting in the conversation for a pause so you can jump in and get into bed with each other, right? And we're not taking care of ourselves. And when we sleep with so many partners, we run a few risks, okay? There's always the potential to contract something. There's always the potential to have an unwanted pregnancy. There's always the potential of, you know, finding out that they're a lot closer to home than you care to admit, okay? Among other reasons, rather than taking care of ourselves. And so I bring this up because it's just a take on something that has become super popular. And for those of you that don't follow the polyamorous relationship, but you still have people on the side, why? Why? Can you ask yourself why you need multiple partners? Because if you're with somebody who loves you and you love them unconditionally, okay, without conditions, and you love yourself without conditions, you're not judging yourself, you're not giving yourself a bad time, you're not giving anybody a bad time, you're just accepting the world as it is, right? Would you need that? Or would you feel like you truly belonged and there's no need to be wanted because you know you are wanted because Source gave you life? So this is what I have for you guys. I feel like this is a pretty deep topic. It could probably extend further than this, but I may make a series just called the Sex Series because this is something that is it's very close to me because I have been on both sides of the spectrum. Like, I've been on the promiscuous side, being on the celibate side, and I've also been right in the middle, just being with a partner and being faithful, okay? So this is what I have for you guys. Please like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel, set that notification bell down below so you always know when the next video does go live. And with that being said, I'm going to get out of here, but go forth boldly, my fellow creators, and courageously find creative ways to rise above in life, laughter, and love until we meet each other again. Peace out. I love y'all. Bye.